The woman took off all her clothes. She swam naked in the pool. She wanted to quench the fire in her with this. However, this sensual scene was unexpectedly witnessed by her friend's husband. It just happened. Eunjeong hadn't felt joy for 6 months. She wanted to seduce her boyfriend in bed, but irritated, Taiki shoved her off the bed. Unable to bear it, she went to the fridge. She wanted to cool her inner fire, but it doesn't help at all. Meanwhile, Che Yuan, who came to feel, got tangled up with Xiao Hai. The two started playing under the blanket. Just as they were about to get back on track, Che Yuan, who didn't bring a condom, was kicked out by his wife who didn't want kids. His pride as a man was severely hurt. Frustrated, Che Yuan put on his clothes, came to the balcony to drink and enjoy the breeze, but was attracted by the sound of Eunjeong jumping into the water, gazing at the beautiful figure in front. Already unhappy, Che Yuan was completely mesmerized. Two lonely people unexpectedly locked eyes. Che Yuan quickly turned his head in shock. Eunjeong also stopped moving, watching Che Yuan's fleeing figure thoughtfully. The next morning, Xiao Hai and her husband drove Eunjeong 2 people home. After last night, Che Yuan and Eunjeong felt awkward. He secretly watched a plain-dressed girl in the mirror. He couldn't help but recall yesterday's steamy scene. The few of them said polite goodbyes after getting off the car. Eunjeong noticed her boyfriend's unhappiness. She apologized while trying to calm him down, but Taiji ignored her completely. He returned to the rental house alone. The next day, Eunjeong bought a lot of things after work. She cooked a meal for her boyfriend's first day at work, but Taiji didn't appreciate it. While eating the meal made by Eunjeong, he vented his frustration on his girlfriend. Eunjeong hoped he'd meet her parents this weekend, but Taiji threw down his chopsticks. What's your rush? Are you only thinking about marriage? No, the family is asking. That's enough. He left inexplicably. Only Eunjeong sat helplessly at the table. After work, Xiao Hai went to her in-laws to pick up her daughter. Her father-in-law called her aside seriously. He urged her to have a son soon, to inherit the family's property. Just dealt with her father-in-law's pressure to have children. Then her mother-in-law called her inside. She subjected her to a barrage of sarcastic remarks, while showing how hard her son has it, and blaming her daughter-in-law for not helping out, until the sister-in-law comes in to defuse the situation. Only then does Xiao Hai find a chance to leave. Back home, Xiao Hai vents to her husband. Che Yuan quickly tries to calm his angry wife, but Xiao Hai pushes his hand away. Your mother called me a marriage fraud the moment we met. Your dad pressures me to have a grandchild every time. This is our marriage. I really can't stand it when they act this way. After saying that, she stormed back to her bedroom, leaving only Che Yuan to sigh quietly. Meanwhile, Taiji bounced into the car dealership. He used the money that Eunjeong meant for the wedding house to buy himself a luxury car, then happily went to the clothing store to get himself an expensive outfit. He then arrived at a fancy restaurant to meet the flight attendant. He flaunted himself like a peacock. The other party seemed quite pleased. She smiled shyly, lowering her head. Taiki was being flirtatious with the beauty. He had long forgotten about Eunjeong. Eunjeong had already prepared dinner. She waited eagerly for her boyfriend's arrival in the apartment, but Taiki was already with another beauty. The man was just about to answer his wife's call. Then he saw his wife's best friend coming over. He hung up the phone immediately, and greeted her with a smile. Unable to reach her husband, anxious Xiao Hai called Eunjeong again, but Eunjeong just glanced at it, then ignored her and continued chatting with Che Yuan. The two went to the office. Eunjeong was there for a cosmetic consultation, to give better advice. Che Yuan gently cupped her face. He planned to carefully examine her bone structure. The strong masculine aura hit her. It made Eunjeong nervously clench her fists. Images of the past flashed through her mind uncontrollably. When their eyes met, both of them froze in place. Che Yuan looked at the woman in front of him. He recalled the beautiful twin he saw that day. He quickly awkwardly pulled his hand back. Smiling, he told Eunjeong, "Don't tell Xiao Hai. No one should talk about this." At that moment, his wife's call came in again. It turned out his mother-in-law's condition worsened. His wife asked him to check on her at the nursing home. Che Yuan wanted to change Eunjeong's doctor, but Eunjeong politely refused. As Eunjeong left, she received a call from her best friend. Let her and her husband take care of her mother together. Thus, the two reunited shortly after parting. They took a car to the hospital together. However, Xiao Hai's mother greatly dislikes Eunjeong. She even remarked on how Eunjeong always looks old and dowdy. These cruel words upset Eunjeong a lot, but she endured it. She forced a smile to cater to Xiao Hai's mother's derision. However, when Cha Yuen rushed in, she seemed to become a different person. She not only sat up to greet warmly, but also put on a loving smile, seeing her son-in-law and daughter's friend arrive together. Don't visit each other alone in the future. Others might misunderstand. When you leave, go back separately. Eunjeong takes the bus back. The The two felt very embarrassed upon hearing this. They hurriedly reassured that they wouldn't let others misunderstand. Watching the two leave on the same vehicle, she knew this woman would be a threat to her daughter's marriage. On the way back, Anjiang received a message from her boyfriend. He told her he still had to work late today. At that moment, Che Yuan invited her to dinner that night. Without thinking, she agreed. Che Yuan then mentioned that his wife would join. This made her excitement fade. The two people in the restaurant are chatting happily. Che Yuan thoughtfully prepares food for Anjiang. This flirtatious atmosphere didn't last long. Xiaohai then approached the two. While thanking her best friend for her efforts, she praised her for looking beautiful today, and eagerly asked about her husband. Che Yuan complimented her as well. Yeah, I was also impressed at the hospital earlier. Hospital. This scared both of them. Fortunately, Che Yuan managed to smooth things over in time. They tacitly hid their meeting at the hospital. Meanwhile, Taiji was downstairs talking on the phone with his flight attendant girlfriend. He kept calling her baby. He even blew kisses through the phone. However, when he faced Anjiang coming home, he turned impatient immediately. He even complained that Anjiang was too ugly despite her effort. Embarrassed, Anjiang had to change the subject. She expressed a desire to ride in his new car. Taiji impatiently opened the car door. He let the excited Anjiang get in the car. However, she soon noticed something was off. The passenger seat was filled with an unfamiliar women's perfume. She looked around in confusion. She actually found on the passenger seat, she discovered a woman's lipstick that wasn't hers. A woman walked down the stairs, but she found her boyfriend who should be working late. At this moment, he was standing downstairs with a beautiful woman on his arm. Our eyes met. Her flustered boyfriend actually introduced her. Let's say hi, she's my sister. Ah, hello. Anjiang looked at the two with a blank expression. The girl nervously complained to Taiki that his sister was too fierce. Taiki quickly tried to reassure the girl to leave. Then, he hurriedly walked up the stairs, awkwardly explaining to Anjiang that it was just his sister. Anjiang didn't believe his nonsense at all. She turned around and went straight upstairs. Taiji saw that things were about to be exposed, angrily accusing his girlfriend why she suddenly showed up. Anjiang insisted he check in with his phone. The guilty man started to panic. He threatened Anjiang that if she checked his phone, they would break up. He even threw his phone on the ground. Anjiang looked at him calmly. Don't do things you'll regret. As the ATM girlfriend left, Taiki went crazy, smashing everything at home. Meanwhile, Anjiang left without a care. Running through the streets alone in tears, she sacrificed almost everything for her boyfriend, only to end up with such an undignified outcome. Meanwhile, due to conflicts with her husband, Chiyuan's mother chose to rely on her son, only to find that the lock at the door has been changed. She arrived at Xiaohai's studio with a face full of resentment. Not only was she laughing crazily on the phone, but also deliberately making a lot of noise. She didn't care at all about her daughter-in-law and the customers who were conducting business. Seeing this troublesome mother-in-law, Xiaohai quickly messaged her husband for help. Then she kept apologizing to the customers. The customers were annoyed by the series of disturbances. In the end, they left with frowns. It seems the daughter-in-law's business is finally ruined. The mother-in-law even showed a smug smile. Che Yuan, after receiving a text from his wife, he rushed over after changing out of his work clothes. However, he only saw Xiaohai at the door apologizing. After sending off the customers, Xiaohai vented to her husband. Stuck between his mother and wife, Che Yuan felt quite helpless. The next morning, the mother-in-law sees Che Yuan gets up early to cook for the family. Sure enough, she was throwing another tantrum. She complains about her daughter-in-law's laziness. At the same time, she plans to give her a serious lecture. Just then, Xiaohai, who was discussing business, interrupted. Che Yuan rushed over to pull her mother away. He tried to persuade her gently for a while. This calmed her down for a moment. However, she quickly started looking for trouble again. Che Yuan planned to take the trash on his way, but mother stopped him immediately. She couldn't bear to see her beloved son take out the trash. While scolding Xiaohai for being careless, she reached out to grab the trash from his hand. In the tug-of-war that ensued, the fragile trash bag tore apart. Xiaohai came out, looked at the mess of this place. Her anger was about to burst. On top of that, her mother-in-law kept blaming. She finally exploded. Taking out the trash is a responsibility for every family member. This isn't about making your son suffer. Besides, this is my home. I hope you won't insult me casually. That shows a lack of manners on your part. This has really upset her mother-in-law. Just directly called for their divorce. The little girl was scared and started crying. This chaotic morning ended just like that. The downcast Xiaohai called out Anjiang, complaining about the awful in-law relationship while drinking. Soon, drunk, Xiaohai went to the table next door and started dancing closely with a table of men. Anjiang followed but couldn't stop her. At that moment, Che Yuan also rushed over. carrying his drunk wife to the car. Seeing her best friend's couple so affectionate, Jiang felt intense jealousy. So, she went outside, seemingly casually telling Che Yuan, "Couldn't call you in time." It's to prevent her from getting cozy with male guests. She still does things like this. A 40-year-old woman falls for a boyfriend 10 years younger. She hasn't been intimate for half a year. She actively seeks affection from her boyfriend, but she was kicked to the ground. Jiang lives anxiously every day, knowing that Taiji is playing both sides. He just stay with her for money. She spent a fortune on a limited edition phone to please him. She just want him to come home and meet her parents for a meal. To prepare for this visit, Jiang gave her mom enough money for groceries. She hoped mom prepares a nice meal. Even if they are poor, they shouldn't lose dignity. Mom happily accepted the money. She assured her everything would be arranged properly. She confidently told Jiang to just bring the son-in-law home. Taiji got himself ready. Reluctantly, he arrived at Jiang's home. He saw that Jiang's family lived in a remote alley. He frowned in disgust. The rusty gate falls apart with a touch. It made him feel poor in the heart. The old floor creaks underfoot. Taiki was afraid he might accidentally step through the floor and fall. Jiang's mom had prepared the best dishes and drinks for her son-in-law, but the daughter and son-in-law switched places. Rearranging the food was not easy, so they had a clever idea. The family lifted the table and changed directions. While moving, Taki got hit on the corner of the table. He was speechless at this scene. Jiang's family is too enthusiastic. They kept calling him son-in-law. This made Taiji feel very uncomfortable. Jiang's father asked him to pour wine from the beginning. Jiang's mom immediately asked him if he could give her 1 million monthly allowance and urged them to buy a house soon. After the marriage, bring them over to serve. Just hearing it is stressful. While talking, Jiang's dad got excited, wants to show the son-in-law photos of Jiang as a child. As a result, when he got up, he leaned on the table. The old, weak table couldn't bear the pressure. The table legs broke at once. It fell straight towards Taiji. In an instant, the food on the table spilled all over his legs. Things from the cabinet also fell on Taiji's head. The situation turned awkward for a moment. No need to say more. This visit to meet the parents was definitely unpleasant. Taiji couldn't be bothered to look at Jiang again. He left in a bad mood. Jiang had nothing to say about it. She hopes to escape her family through marriage. Even she feels her family is a heavy burden, not to mention others. So her boyfriend is upset. She understands. She really wants to break free like a balloon, to fly up to the sky without a care. But she can't avoid the judgment of others. The outrageous things don't stop here. Taiji ate at Jiang's house. He went home had diarrhea to the point of exhaustion. He lost his balance and broke his arm. He increasingly feels that the Jiang family brings bad luck. Perhaps all of this misfortune is a reminder from his ancestors to sever the ill-fated relationship earlier. He should no longer be connected with the Jiang family. Meanwhile, Jiang is being lectured by his mother. His mother thinks Jiang is quite ordinary in every way. She wants to be a teacher, but she couldn't pass the teacher qualification exam. She wanted to take the civil service exam, but ended up giving up halfway. Nothing seems to work. Only getting older. Jiang should seize the opportunity. Know how to be sweet and soft. Treat the son-in-law well. After all, it was their family who married above their status. As for the dowry, it needs to be earned, because the family has given a lot already. After the family meeting, Jiang feels very heavy-hearted. She didn't have time to think about the future. Then she suddenly received a breakup message from Taiki. She hurried to seek reconciliation, but Taiji changed the door lock code. He didn't answer calls or reply to texts. She couldn't reach him at all. She could only wait at his door all night. When Taiji saw Jiang, he was furious. He sarcastically said, "Of course you're used to that kind of food. It's definitely not Korean beef, yet they're insisting it is. It's because her family's food is really bad. That's why he goes to the bathroom so often." So he ended up feeling so weak that he hurt his arm. Jiang's self-esteem was hurt, but they truly did not host well. She couldn't defend herself. After going home, she vented to her mom. Jiang nagged her endlessly. She gave a huge amount for groceries. She hoped her mom takes it seriously, but her mom is taking kickbacks. She even packed leftover food from the restaurant for her boyfriend. Jiang never expected such a move. She endures things quietly outside. She acts meek in front of her boyfriend. She hopes this marriage will improve her life. Little did she know, mom looks down on her. Even treats her prospective son-in-law as a slop bucket. She recalls the scene of breaking up with her boyfriend. Jiang's emotions are completely shattered. Her family is too poor. They can't provide any financial help. Her boyfriend's family is also average. If Jiang were a civil servant, she could at least strive alongside him. But Jiang is already 37. She's still working as an assistant. She runs errands to make a living. Her boyfriend has had enough of poverty. He and Jiang's family is a burden. He decisively broke up. Then he quickly moved on to someone new. Eunjiang's sister saw that jerk cheat 3 times. She repeatedly urged Eunjiang to break up, but Eunjiang seems to have lost her mind. She knows it's a pitfall but jumps in anyway. In fact, Eunjiang is suffering too. She's very insecure. She feels like she hasn't accomplished anything. At 37, she still doesn't have a stable job. If she can't even get married, she would really be a failure in life. What could be worse than her current situation? She just hopes her boyfriend will come back when he's done playing. At least she can comfort herself later, saying she married a civil servant. Seeing her like this, her sister feels she's wasting her potential. You're not ordinary, you're very smart. Her best friend learned that Eunjiang has already introduced her boyfriend to her parents. She thought the wedding was near. She hurriedly asked Eunjiang to come over. Eunjiang arrived at her best friend's mansion. Looking at the happy wedding photos on the wall, she couldn't tell if what she felt was envy or jealousy. Perhaps there was more jealousy, seeing her friend in that silk nightgown. She couldn't afford it even if she worked 2 months without eating or drinking, though her friend runs a luxury goods company. But in fact, she's not financially comfortable. Nonetheless, she borrowed 10 million won from her husband to give as a wedding gift to Eunjiang. Moreover, she personally designed a wedding ring for her. It is set with real diamonds. As a friend of 20 years, she sincerely wishes Eunjiang happiness, but Eunjiang fails to appreciate this heartfelt gesture. She was only because she got a 10 million check. She thought she had money. She believed Taiji would come back to stay with her again. She rushed over that night to put the wedding ring on Taiji. She said she couldn't give up the past for years of feelings, along with her youth, time, and money invested. Taiji was fed up. He played the dirtiest card. Taiji accusing Eunjiang of misconduct, having a crush on her friend's husband. Moreover, he even went to find Eunjiang's friend, hoping she would persuade Eunjiang to give up. He thought doing this would make Eunjiang stop bothering him, but Eunjiang's hot-tempered sister found pictures of him with his new girlfriend online. She confronts him boldly. If you weren't pregnant, I would have dealt with you already. Don't you know he has a girlfriend of 4 years? Don't come over, talk to me instead. Taiji was beaten badly by Eunjiang's sister in the trash. He originally thought his girlfriend was pregnant. He thought he could save a lot on the bride price. Now it's over. His girlfriend found out he was two-timing her. She decisively broke up with him. The duck that was almost caught just flew away. Frustrated, he found Eunjiang. He deeply disrupted the relationship between Eunjiang and her friend, even in a desperate run. You still can't keep up with your friend at all. Just a sidekick. What more can you hope for? That night, Eunjiang was dumped by her boyfriend of 4 years, accused of coveting her best friend's husband. Feelings of shame, guilt, and panic, all at once, they wildly overwhelmed her rationality. Her inner balance is shattered. She has always had too little. Now she wants more, even with a gun. Her parents learned that her boyfriend cheated. They immediately went to confront him at his office. The family cornered him outside his office to accuse him. They drew quite a crowd. It turned into a very awkward scene. Her self-esteem was already shattered. With such a fuss from her parents, it made her lose face even more. The jerk only felt unlucky upon seeing her. He completely forgot he had been freeloading for 4 years. His words became more hurtful each time. That's why they say you shouldn't get involved with someone who has nothing. Is your whole family just a bunch of leeches? Breaking up after dating isn't that serious. After getting home, her parents felt utterly embarrassed. They have been bragging about it. The old girl at home is getting married. How should they explain this to the villagers? They can't say it's because the prospective son-in-law cheated, right? Isn't that just laughable? What foolish thing did you do to get dumped? I'm sorry, being dumped is my fault. How terrible do you have to be for him to seek another woman? Eunjiang is already feeling down. Now she have to bear the blame from her family. Feeling aggrieved with no place to vent, she ran to the beach under the cover of night, texting herself for comfort. When she got home, her uncle was waiting in the yard. Only her uncle told her, a man's cheating isn't a woman's fault. He advised her not to be too kind in the future, because those who give more often suffer more. That day, Eunjiang helped her friend Xiaohai as usual. Xiaohai delayed the meeting to make her happier. She took 2 hours to go shopping with her. She even bought her a nice outfit to match them better. She even gave up his favorite limited edition bag and gifted it to Eunjiang. After such careful preparation, Eunjiang felt she didn't even recognize herself in the mirror. With the Xiaohai by her side, Eunjiang feels much better. She has regained some confidence. In the evening, the jerk texted her. He invited her to their usual roadside restaurant. Eunjiang thought for just 2 seconds, ignoring her sister's objections. With the new equipment Xiaohai sent her during the day to the appointment. Before the meeting, she carefully styled her hair. even after being humiliated many times. She still hoped the jerk would change his mind. This love-struck person is hopeless. What's disappointing is that the jerk called her out this time. He's not trying to reconcile with her. He wants her to help him lie, to dispel his fiancé's suspicions. Seeing Eun-jeong refuse, the jerk's true nature is exposed again. He scolds Eun-jeong does not know oneself clearly. Don't think that by borrowing the Xiuhai's clothes to wear, she can become someone like the ocean. Said Eun-jeong, no matter how to dress, she will always be a cheap imitation. What's even more heartbreaking is, the jerk even brought up the fact that Eun-jeong had a crush on Xiuhai's husband. You're not just poorly qualified, from a bad family, and older. Most importantly, how can a woman who loves her best friend's husband be good? How can there be a future? When the last glimmer of hope is shattered, Eun-jeong finally realizes the fact that she has fallen for a jerk. She screams and cries by the sea. When she stops crying, evil thoughts begin to take root. The toy boy she supported for 4 years finally got married, but the bride isn't her. The more Eun-jeong thinks, the angrier and more regretful she becomes. How can 4 years of youth be wasted making someone else a bride? She decided to make a big move right away, to vent her frustrations from the past. After renting a beautiful outfit from the boutique, she rushed to the wedding venue, with help from her uncle. She brought a big gift for the bride's parents. I have been with your son-in-law for 4 years. We were together until just a few days ago. He was two-timing, just like your daughters. I almost gave birth. The bride's parents opened the gift box. What caught their eyes was the ultrasound of the baby. After seeing the pile of photos below, the couple felt faint. They are respectable people. They would never allow their daughter to marry a fraud. The jerk was furious that the wedding was ruined. He furiously confronted Eun-jeong. Tried to show off the wedding ring, further provoke Eun-jeong that her heart was far less broad than that of her best friend, Xiuhai. Xiuhai heard her got married. She even gave him a wedding ring. But what about Eun-jeong? Not sending a gift is one thing. How dare she use such dirty tricks to sabotage? Eun-jeong has already faced betrayal in love, unable to bear the betrayal of friendship anymore. Although she appeared calm on the surface, she was still dissatisfied with the Xiuhai inside. Xiuhai didn't notice Eun-jeong's inner changes. Together with her husband, Chae-yuan, they invited Eun-jeong to a Western restaurant to celebrate her getting rid of the jerk. This meeting brought Eun-jeong significant gains. At least she could be sure. Chae-yuan still had feelings for her. He remembers she is afraid of dogs. He remembers she cried when she was vulnerable. But her close friends don't remember. She deliberately got drunk and collapsed on the floor. Even when the Xiuhai couple took her home, she openly rested her head on Chae-yuan's shoulder. Xiuhai didn't think much of it. She directed the driver from the passenger seat, letting her husband, a doctor, care for Eun-jeong in the back. Because Eun-jeong had always felt inferior due to her family, never invites others to their home. So Xiuhai doesn't know where she lives, can only bring it back to their own guest room. On that very night, Xiuhai's mother had a strange dream. She dreamt that Eun-jeong quietly climbed onto her daughter and son-in-law's bed. Though Chae-yuan held Xiuhai in his arms, his hand was intertwined with Eun-jeong's. The woman's sixth sense made her anxious. The next day, she hurriedly called Chae-yuan to the sanatorium. She made him swear never to harm the Xiuhai, cherish the Xiuhai consistently. Chae-yuan was puzzled. He didn't understand why his mother-in-law had such a strong sense of crisis, but he still agreed immediately. After the breakup, Eun-jeong was busy studying and working all day. She was unwilling to be Xiuhai's errand runner for life. She was determined to obtain a teacher's qualification. She wanted to find a decent job. The Xiuhai isn't idle either. She introduced a good match to Eun-jeong. The person is tall and handsome. He have a house and a car, and also a factory owner. Although he are 4 years older than Eun-jeong, but he are at least mature and stable. Eun-jeong is tired of taking care of others, facing a new suitor. She also enjoys being cared for. She agreed to meet over the weekend. She thought after all the struggles, she could finally find a good partner. But she learned just a minute before the meeting. The man was divorced and had 2 kids. Xiuhai just found out about this too. She regrets introducing him to Eun-jeong without checking, considering they should have met by now. Thinking of calling Eun-jeong to explain later. Realizing this could lead to a big misunderstanding. Eun-jeong is already insecure and sensitive. They haven't even seen each other. She remembers a few years ago, Xiuhai introduced a doctor to a wealthy friend's daughter. When it was her turn to be set up on a date, she introduced Eun-jeong to an older divorced man. She couldn't help but find it funny. Doesn't she belong in Xiuhai's heart? She only deserves to marry someone like this. Misunderstandings and dissatisfaction piled up. This made Eun-jeong resent Xiuhai. 20 years of friendship can easily capsize. Eun-jeong is 100% darkened. If she could free herself to bravely pursue love, then the gentle and handsome Chae-yuan is currently her best available choice. When Xiuhai asks her to meet clients again, she deliberately took some extra time. She said she couldn't find a driver. Based on her knowledge of the Xiuhai, for such urgent matters, she'll definitely ask her husband for help. As she expected, her companion on the business trip will be Chae-yuan. She sampled some lipstick and perfume at the boutique. She dressed herself carefully. She made a wish while blowing up a balloon by the roadside. She tossed it into the air right on time. Che Yuan came to pick up. He happened to see this innocent scene, to flirt with her best friend's husband. And Jiang is quite skilled. Every trick she uses is textbook. She still remember years ago, Che Yuan casually mentioned that a certain place's rice balls are delicious, and Jiang remembers it to this day. She even packed it in a thermos. That's quite detailed. Then act intimate under the guise of friendship. Make him let his guard down. You're driving, so I should be your co-pilot. Facing Jiang's advances, though he felt guilty, he didn't refuse. Jiang felt there was a chance. Next, step 2. Create some fantasies. She took him to the beach. She deliberately said things that could be misunderstood. We played running after the waves. Strangers thought we were newlyweds. You really have a great mind. How do you even remember these little things? It's not because I'm smart, but because it's a special memory for me. The two of us chased waves in the sea breeze. Then, Jiang fell, and Che Yuan helped her up. Even though the plot is cliched, it works really well. In a flash, there are some really warm smell. On the way back, Jiang accidentally learned that her friend gave her a wedding ring. It was given to herself because it couldn't be sold. She even said it was custom made for her. It's unique in this world. It's really hypocritical. Set her up with a divorced man for a blind date. She even gave away a used ring. She really treated her like a beggar. She can't help but feel it's funny. She pretended to have indigestion on the way. She accepts Che Yuan's care with a clear conscience. As if taking away Che Yuan, she would be one step ahead of her best friend. After this business trip together, Jiang and Che Yuan's relationship began to change subtly. Jiang is very cunning. She knows very well about Che Yuan's marriage issues. Her friend Xiao Hai has always had a bad relationship with her in-laws. Che Yuan is a dutiful son. Every time there's a conflict between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, he's always caught in the middle. So she plays the role of understanding. She's actively helping him improve family relations. She even accompanied him to choose clothes for his dad. When the salesperson mistook them for a couple, Jiang replied, "No, it's for Dad." That's what she said. Others really think they are a couple, but faced with such vague answers, Che Yuan is just assumed. At this moment, Xiao Hai is also in the department store. She accidentally saw her husband shopping alongside another woman. Her heart suddenly tightened. But when she rushed to check, the person had already vanished. Xiao Hai's mom has a congenital heart defect. Her health has been declining lately. Xiao Hai wants to take care of her more. She took her mom home from the nursing home. This is the second major issue in their marriage. The house was bought by Che Yuan family. If Xiao Hai wants to have her mom live with them, they need the in-laws' approval. Xiao Hai is actually worried about family conflicts. At first, she was a bit hesitant, but Jiang has been stirring things up, talking about being filial to her mother. No need to seek others' approval. She's not dependent on her in-laws. Jiang pushed her to confront Che Yuan. And that's how it is. When Che Yuan got home from work, he found his mother-in-law had moved in. Although he felt disrespected, the good-natured Che Yuan didn't argue with Xiao Hai. Instead, he worked hard to persuade my family. He honestly showed respect to his mother-in-law. Jiang was called by Xiao Hai to help take care of her mother. This also gave her more time with the Che Yuan. Xiao Hai isn't suspicious, but Xiao Hai's mom is quite perceptive. She was keenly aware of a warm smell between Jiang and her son-in-law. As soon as they get close, she immediately interrupts it like she caught them cheating. "What are you doing?" In terms of caring for the elderly, Jiang has been responsible, but Xiao Hai mom always treats her like a pushover. Her words are getting more and more bitter. At your age, you're still not married and depends on work. How sad your parents must be. Don't think you can be friends with Xiao Hai. You're on the same level as her. Don't covet what shouldn't be. Jiang has heard enough of these words. What embarrassed her was that Che Yuan, who just got off work, also heard it. As a single woman in her 30s from the lower class, the best man Jiang can meet is her best friend's husband. But the problem is, how to break her friend's marriage, to elevate herself into high society. Let's see her next moves. The best friend's mom has serious heart problems, and her mother-in-law is very strong-willed. The two families are at odds with each other. The couple defends their own mothers. They often argue about it. One day, during an argument, Che Yuan accidentally knocked Xiao Hai down. In anger, Xiao Hai demanded a divorce. Che Yuan was furious inside, but had no one to vent to. He can only talk to Jiang, seeing her best friend's messy marriage. Jiang was really happy. She pretended to be worried. She casually revealed, after the Xiao Hai family went bankrupt, they had a lot of debt. Thus, Che Yuan thinking became clear. No wonder Xiao Hai designed jewelry won many awards, but she is often short on money. The money earned went to pay off the debts of her family. Jiang thought the couple would definitely argue about it. But to her disappointment, Che Yuan is indeed a caring husband, although he knows his wife has hidden a lot from him. but thinking of the past 7 years, she has quietly shouldered everything. He feels even more heartbroken. He decides to make a concession. Jiang sees that this family has finally started to have conflicts, so easily calming down again. Couldn't sit still instantly. She rushed to the Che-Yuan house to talk nonsense. As expected, Che-Yuan mom learned her son was always serving his mother-in-law. Instantly displeased, came over to make a scene. Jiang fanned the flames, while coaxing Xiaohai to call the police. Successfully ignited fierce conflict. The Xiaohai mother got so angry she had a heart attack. When the Che-Yuan arrived, he saw his mom being taken away by the police. He grew increasingly dissatisfied with his wife's actions. He really can't understand. It's an issue that could be negotiated. Why did it have to go to the police? It's not someone else, it's his own mother. Whenever it comes to moments like this, Jiang will become a confidant and mediate. Said she felt the same way about calling the police. Haiyang may be overreacting. Advised Che-Yuan not to be mad at Xiaohai. Perhaps listen to her advice. Soon, Xiaohai received a text from her husband. He said the resort is all set. He suggested she take her mother out to relax. He'll take care of things at home. As for the child, then Jiang will help take him. As soon as Xiaohai leaves, all problems will no longer be problems. She has already contacted Xiaohai first love. Make them have a chance encounter at the resort. Tempt Xiaohai to cheat, then take the chance to act on the Che-Yuan. She introduced her mom as a nanny to the Che-Yuan's family. Have her dad be the exclusive driver for the Che-Yuan's dad. Observe all activities of the Che-Yuan's family closely. She try hard to get Che-Yuan daughter's attention. She work hard to prepare for a promotion. The night before leaving the Xiaohai, Jiang is using her friend's makeup room, soaking in her friend's bathtub, imagining something happening with her friend's husband, deliberately talking about some blush-inducing past events. It couldn't be more ambiguous. The Che-Yuan is afraid of losing control, trying to change the subject. We are like old friends reunited, right? But Jiang said, we are not friends. Jiang knows how to turn disadvantages into advantages. She comes from a poor family. She has been a sidekick to her best friend since high school. She is often looked down upon, but all this can become her tools to make Che-Yuan love her. She cried with a heartbroken look. She successfully evoked Che-Yuan's sympathy. Subconsciously, Che-Yuan lent his shoulder to comfort her. Not only that, but also invited Jiang to stay over. I have to say, a man who is gentle to everyone can really be infuriating at times. Jiang seems passive, but everything is actually under her control. She recalled the humiliation she suffered, and felt a burning bond. When Che-Yuan woke up at night, he thought his wife was back. Upon closer inspection, he saw Jiang's shoulder slightly exposed. She exuded an alluring vibe. Logic kept him at a distance, but Jiang pulled him closer. If it weren't for his daughter calling out for her dad from the room, Che-Yuan might not have been able to control himself. Jiang knows how to fish. Seeing that the seduction didn't work, she left wisely, forcing it would annoy the dimension. That night, the Che-Yuan was distracted. He went back to the living room to look for Jiang. His mind was filled with Jiang's alluring expression, and the scene of swimming naked in the pool. It aroused his desire. The next day, Jiang acted as if nothing happened, accompanied the Che-Yuan and his daughter to the amusement park. They also took a family photo together. This warm, joyful scene resembled a family of 3. At that moment in the resort, the first love also made the mother and daughter very obedient. Under his strong advances, Xiaohai almost lost control. If it weren't for her mom being there, she almost made a mistake. Mom learned that Xiaohai didn't leave the child with the in-laws. Instead, she left the child with that vixen, Jiang. She was so anxious to head back to Seoul immediately, fearing that Jiang might steal her son-in-law at any moment. Xiaohai didn't think much of it. She believed she was just as good as Jiang. Anyone with good sense would choose her over Jiang. Moreover, she treats Jiang so well, Jiang wouldn't do something like that. As someone who's been through it, Mom still refuses to relax. Which man cheats because his wife isn't as talented? If a man and woman meet often, something will happen. With Mom's insistence, Xiaohai had to end the journey early, continue to devote oneself to work, to prepare for this jewelry exhibition. Xiaohai really put in a lot of effort. She participated in the exhibition with confidence, but she learned before entering that her work was stolen. She accomplished nothing all day. She spent her time on lawsuits and filing cases. Che-Yuan wanted to discuss the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship, but the irritated Xiaohai yelled at her. His mood deteriorated to the extreme. He invited Jiang to the bar. He asked about the reasons for Xiaohai's irritation and her first love. Did you hear? They met in Sokja. Said it was accidental. It might not have been a coincidence. What a coincidence. Xiaohai's friend is also at this bar. She is greatly astonished to see Che-Yuan and Jiang sitting together drinking. She quickly notified Xiaohai. Xiaohai was equally surprised. Jiang had clearly told her he was going to work. Why would she look for her husband? Xiaohai is a respectable person. She lied that they had something important to discuss, but the friend hinted that Jiang and Che-Yuan are involved. Is there anything that requires a private chat with her husband? Xiaohai felt restless, but she didn't know how to question it. She feared hurting her friend by accident. In playing with people's feelings, Anjiang is the real expert. She actively went to talk to Xiaohai. Last night, drinking with Che Yuan, she said she didn't want to see them argue, so she went to talk to Che Yuan for his thoughts. She knows Xiaohai is upset about Che Yuan spoiling his mother, yet she still stirred conflict between the couple. He talked a lot about his mom. It seems he has deep feelings for his family. He should prioritize you. In my opinion, how can a person change so much? Anjiang finally regained some conscience, decided to actively reach out to her best friend, confessed to leaking the design, but she accidentally overheard her friend laughing with her first love. I asked your mom, why is the Xiaohai always inseparable from Anjiang? She said that anywhere you go, money can get Anjiang anything. She also said you mentioned that such people are best for being used. Anjiang knows she has always been looked down upon. But hearing this from her friend is surprising. The heart was deeply hurt. The little kindness that struggled to arise faded away. Che Yuan received a call from Anjiang. He rushed to the restaurant to bring his wife home. He happened to see her flirting with her first love. Xiaohai was drunkenly tipsy. Even her husband didn't recognize her, but she kept mentioning her first love's name. Before getting in the car, she blew kisses to her first love. This certainly made Che Yuan jealous. Married for 7 years, he's never felt the Xiaohai so unfamiliar. He lamented to Anjiang. Our marriage seems to be in crisis. Upon hearing this, Anjiang didn't know how happy she was. If Che Yuan divorces earlier, she could rise to a better position sooner. When Che Yuan questioned her about the current relationship between the Xiaohai and her first love, she made a difficult expression and didn't answer direct. Instead, she cunningly dropped her handkerchief. When Che Yuan caught up, she pretended to be talking to the Xiaohai. She looked earnest and persuasive. Don't associate with Jihan anymore. Otherwise, what will Che Yuan think? Didn't you say you kissed in Sokcho? If your mom hadn't been there, would you have made a mistake? Oh man, this is a direct blow for Che Yuan. Xiaohai still hasn't noticed Anjiang's betrayal. Rather, Xiaohai's mother feels increasingly anxious. Her intuition told her Anjiang wants her daughter and son-in-law to divorce to gain power. To gather evidence, she stayed alert during her talk with Anjiang. She pressed the record button in advance. Under pressure, Anjiang really lost her temper. Are you asking if I want the Xiaohai to divorce? If so, what can you do about it? That afternoon, Xiaohai's mom urgently called a family meeting. She played a recording to show everyone's true face of Anjiang. Anjiang was in a panic. She didn't expect her to be so cunning, but under the protection of the protagonist's aura, the recording wasn't complete. Seeing this, Anjiang immediately acted. She ran away crying. Xiaohai's mom was so anxious, she could have had a heart attack. No matter how many times she says Anjiang is not a good person, but her daughter and son-in-law still trust him blindly. They even think she is slandering Anjiang. She silently swore she had to make Anjiang reveal his true colors. That night, Che Yuan went to pick up Xiaohai from work. He ran into Xiaohai's first love again, who came to cause trouble. The man's pride was crushed, and the one still drinking with him was Anjiang. Speaking of the Xiaohai, Anjiang's tears fell like raindrops. She said she received little love while growing up. It's no wonder others treated her as insignificant. Everyone looked down on her, trampled on her without thought. But the Che Yuan held her hand and said, she is the most precious person in this world. The two, who cherished each other, locked eyes in this moment. Friction ignited sparks of love, and the Xiaohai's entanglement with first love freed Che Yuan from their last moral constraints. He kissed Anjiang's lips, revealing his alluring biceps. Together with Anjiang, they fell into the abyss of desire. After a night of pleasure with his wife's friend, the man could no longer focus on his wife. His mind constantly wandered to scenes with Anjiang. After Anjiang left that day, Che Yuan received a long confession letter. Anjiang's deep and passionate feelings left him at a loss. He didn't know how to face this. He hoped Anjiang would tell him what to do. Anjiang casually replied, just follow your heart and go with the flow. But secretly, he was waiting for every opportunity to undermine him. That day, the Xiaohai couple planned to accompany their daughter to attend an open class at school together. As a result, Xiaohai was too busy to remember. Then Anjiang was substituted last minute. The enjoyable parent-child activity was held together with Che Yuan and Anjiang. The scene was so harmonious that everyone in the kindergarten thought that Anjiang was the child's mother. Xiaohai is rather oblivious too. Seeing the photo of her husband and Anjiang, she didn't feel anything was wrong at all, and she even complained to Anjiang about living with elders. The couple found it inconvenient to do things. How could she know that Che Yuan was distracted? It's not because of the elders at home, it's because of her good friend by her side. She returned the handkerchief that Anjiang dropped in Che Yuan's pocket. Anjiang nervously explained, it was because during her last business trip, She accidentally spilled coffee, but Xiaohai remembered that Chiyuan's explanation was, on the day they went to the amusement park, he got ice cream on himself. That's when Enjiang gave him the handkerchief. This different statement finally made Xiaohai realize something was off. A few days later, Enjiang suddenly said she wanted to see the sea. She arranged for the couple to meet at a seaside restaurant, set in front of Chiyuan. Actually, her first love was someone else, but Xiaohai did not expect Enjiang. Still hidden her don't know the emotional experience. Intrigued, she moved closer to gossip, not noticing her husband's panic at all. Who is it? I used to tutor the son of a student. The moment I saw him, I fell for him. A poor girl like Enjiang, she has no courage to pursue love. She can only wait silently for others to understand her feelings, and then miss out completely. Xiaohai felt really sorry hearing Enjiang's first love story, cursing that lousy man for being blind. He definitely can't find a better partner than Enjiang. Chiyuan's expressions were subtle the whole time, taking advantage of the time at the Xiaohai's restroom. Why did he say these nonsensical things to Enjiang? Enjiang looked at him with disappointment. She says he only fears Xiaohai finding out, but he doesn't consider her feelings. She doesn't believe Chiyuan has no feelings for her. She rushed into the sea without a care, to see if Chiyuan will save her, or still waiting like a good husband for his wife. Xiaohai came out of the bathroom and found the seat empty. While looking outside, she saw two people coming out of the sea. Can't remember when she left. What happened after all? Enjiang didn't answer, just watching her laugh crazily. At least the moment Chiyuan rushed towards her, she felt like she had won. On the way back, the Xiaohai worries about Enjiang getting cold, dressed her in Chiyuan clothes. Thankfully, if it weren't for the Chiyuan, something big is going to happen today. Enjiang is wrapped in clothes. In a very coy way, she's acting cute to the dimension. She said, "Brother, wearing your clothes won't upset you, right?" The Chiyuan can't even manage a smile, watching the two play out their sisterly bond in the backseat. Her heart feels heavy like a stone. Back home, Xiaohai has been wondering who Enjiang's first love will be. Chiyuan is panicking again. By the way, it can't be you, right? What nonsense are you saying? Are you still drunk? Your friend is Director Shen. Isn't he the one who helped my friend find a date? Even mom can't stand it anymore. What woman would be so generous to not even mind if another woman wears her husband's clothes? The woman quietly entered her friend's house. She pulled out her friend's husband's coat from the closet. She was obsessively smelling its scent, imagining herself embraced by Chiyuan. She opened the toner Chiyuan often used. She recalled the scent on his skin. Just as she was lost in that blissful night, Xiaohai and his family returned. She panicked. She accidentally knocked over the toner. Xiaohai's mom was puzzled as soon as she entered. She clearly remembered something about the lights before leaving. Why is the living room light still on? Her granddaughter went to the balcony to look for her doll. Suddenly she shouted, "It's Auntie!" Xiaohai's mom listened and quickly ran to the balcony to check. She seriously suspected that Enjiang had just been here. Xiaohai initially thought it was unlikely. Upon entering the room, she smelled a strong scent of makeup water. She noticed there was still a full bottle of makeup water this morning. Now there was only half left. She also began to find it strange. She remembered asking Enjiang to borrow eye drops during the day. Finding the family photo in Enjiang's bag, her husband, daughter, and Enjiang are smiling at the camera. It seems like they are the real family of three. Even when the family goes out for burgers, her daughter keeps mentioning the auntie. She asks when Enjiang will come. See, kids don't lie. They get along so well that the child thinks they are family. Mom reminds Xiaohai to pay more attention to family. Don't let your husband and kids run off with another woman. You'll be too late to cry. Xiaohai flipped through the family album again. That's when it suddenly hit her. Enjiang feels more like a part of this family than she does. She feels pushed out by this family. It doesn't feel good inside. Before falling asleep, she changed into sexy lingerie. She wanted to enjoy some intimacy with her husband after a long time. The Chiyuan is there, but she feels lost. He has no interest in her at all. Xiaohai feels quite frustrated, but she comforts himself anyway. It's just that Chiyuan isn't used to living with her mother. He's just under a lot of pressure. That day, her daughter's comfort doll went missing. She threw a tantrum at home. Chiyuan family has a hereditary heart condition. The daughter is no exception. Last time, she had to go to the ER because the toy was lost. The family was frantic. They asked everyone to find the same toy. That night, Xiaohai had an important engagement. She couldn't make it. Instead, Enjiang did her best. She first calmed Xiaohai's daughter down. She searched local stores and second-hand websites. She looked everywhere for an identical comfort toy. Finally, she found a seller willing to sell. The trade location is in the suburbs. Chiyuan intended to go with Enjiang, but his mother-in-law was worried. She feared they might pull a trick on the way. Enjiang had to take her uncle's car to get it. This solved the urgent problem for the Chiyuan family. Actually, Xiao Hai was also very anxious, but she is an important part of this party. She has to socialize with many people. She wants to get home early to be with her daughter. She drinks very fast. She was carried home by her first love, a business partner. After getting drunk, Che Yuan has always been unsatisfied. Seeing the rival only adds to the anger. He really doesn't know what matters most to the Xiao Hai. In the past 7 years, he has mainly taken care of his daughter's life. If the Xiao Hai really wanted to be a good mother, she should care more about family. Then the daughter wouldn't feel so insecure, obsessed with comforting a doll. The Xiao Hai feels wrong too. Money is hard to earn. She works long hours to make money, busy to the point of exhaustion. It's all for this family, not for our family, but for my father-in-law's debts. The Xiao Hai was taken aback. She didn't expect the Che Yuan to know this. Only Jiang knows about her family's debt after bankruptcy. But she's afraid of causing family conflict. She repeatedly urged and earnestly begged Jiang to keep her secret. She works hard to earn money. She will pay off the debt in 6 months. However, she never expected that. She trusted Jiang so much, but Jiang stabbed her in the back. Should I be honest? Yes, I like your husband. Facing her best friend's relentless questioning, Jiang wanted to give in and tell the truth, but she simply can't afford to do that right now. So she had to resort to lies. When Xiao Hai asked her why she stopped wearing the friendship necklace, Jiang falsely claimed she had an allergic reaction on her neck, so she took it off. But Xiao Hai noticed right away it was clearly broken. It's clear she can't keep fooling around much longer. Jiang pulled out her signature trick again. She pretended to be wronged and ran out crying. Still continued to collude with Che Yuan. That night, the two kissed passionately. Lost in the moment, Xiao Hai's mama caught them red-handed after following them. Even though it was suspected that Jiang had something with her son-in-law, but witnessing such an explosive scene, her heart couldn't take it. You bitch! How dare you do something like this? Aren't you afraid of divine punishment? How could you go after a friend's husband? After Xiao Hai's mama had a heart attack, Jiang got into the ambulance. Seeing Xiao Hai's mama unconscious, a sudden evil thought crossed her mind. What if she never wakes up? After being taken to the hospital, the first thing Xiao Hai's mama did when she woke up was to tell her daughter the truth. But she is really too weak. She just pointed at Jiang. Then she fainted again. Cheating made her mother-in-law so angry that she ended up in the hospital. Che Yuan still secretly met with Jiang. He hopes to know her thoughts. Jiang emotionally said she had never wished for anything. Just knowing that Che Yuan cares for her makes her satisfied. Of course, all of the above were just manipulative tactics. Just listen and be done with it. But the Che Yuan was very touching. What a kind and understanding girl. Loving him so deeply without asking for anything in return. For the Xiao Hai, a fatal blow followed. First, her mom was hospitalized and in critical condition. Here, there was another case of design piracy again. They suddenly lost tens of millions. The business that had just started faced a big setback. Jiang was panicked. She didn't expect that helping others steal designs would cause trouble. It could lead to such great losses for Xiao Hai. Che Yuan is angry. She takes on too much without the ability, not to mention losing money that she borrowed from others. They were once a couple. Che Yuan offers no help to Xiao Hai's career, yet he stands by giving unsolicited advice. This frustrates Xiao Hai. Please, shut up. Father passed away early. Mom is still unconscious in the ICU. Xiao Hai can only cry against the wall outside the ward. Seeing my friend suffer so much, Jiang's conscience is partly awakened. She feels she shouldn't continue hurting Xiao Hai. She unilaterally decided to end it with Che Yuan. Sadly, the mistakes they made can't just disappear with a text after having a near-death experience. Xiao Hai's mama realized that Jiang was not easy to deal with. To protect herself, she pretended to be forgetful to get by. She only spoke hesitantly when her daughter arrived. She saw Jiang kissing Che Yuan with her own eyes. Xiao Hai had unwavering faith in her mother. Actually, she sensed something was off, but she didn't dare to be sure, so she kept dragging it on. After leaving the hospital, she met Jiang's ex-boyfriend. Asked him if he reminded himself to be wary of Jiang. Her ex could tell she had discovered the affair. He advised Xiao Hai to be more careful. Because of Jiang's personality, she won't admit anything before finding solid evidence. She won't confess. After getting home that night, Xiao Hai started gathering evidence. Eventually, she saw the playback in the car. It was on the night her mother was hospitalized. The two met with sweet smiles. How urgent can this be? Moreover, she even found a love letter from Jiang in the car. Every word inside was telling her what should and shouldn't be done. The two of them have done everything. Xiao Hai couldn't help but smile sarcastically. How precious is this intention really? So much so that Che Yuan can't bear to destroy it. Giving her something to hold against him, the woman invited her best friend and husband to a coffee shop. Then each gave a big handbag for Xiao Hai, who has always been well-mannered. She has always thought terms like dog men and women are vulgar. Now, she personally experienced a melodramatic situation. She found it really catchy. From now on, you two will be called the dog couple. That's your name. One is the closest friend, the other is the beloved man. Double the betrayal hurts. Xiaohai really don't understand what Jiang is thinking. She shared snacks and clothes since childhood. Now grown up, she even share her husband. Seeing Jiang cried and said sorry, Xiaohai fire suddenly flared up. She gave a big push to the Che Yuan again. Let him stop Jiang from showboating. Women's sixth sense is not absent in the Che Yuan. She simply chooses to ignore it time and again. She fears that confirming it will destroy her family. Even more, she fears losing her best friend. She gives in to friendship. Meanwhile, the Che Yuan succumbs to temptation, facing the Che Yuan's accountability. Jiang cried, saying it's all her fault. It has nothing to do with the Che Yuan. Xiaohai is tired of this nonsense. With a powerful rise, another slap. I've said, indulging her drama means you'll get hit. A crowd of onlookers at the coffee shop, making Jiang and the Che Yuan feel embarrassed. Not only that, Xiaohai also called in the Dimensions family. Chiluan's dad heard that his son, whom he strictly disciplined, actually did something dirty. Angered, he threw a punch. If affairs can be classified, being with his wife's friend is simply beast level. But no matter how hard he hits or scolds, they will always be family. He still favors his own son, even though there are a million ways. Let those scoundrels live in misery. But Xiaohai thinks it's meaningless to be entangled with trash. She will fight for maximum asset division and compensation. The recorded evidence is already prepared. She is ready to respond at any time. She will start packing her bags as soon as she gets home. She just wants to get out of this mess quickly. Che Yuan kneels and begs her to consider their daughter. Give him another chance. But this will only cause Xiaohai to collapse again. He knows very well Xiaohai has nowhere to go. He knows she's helping her father pay off debts with no money. He knows there's a hereditary heart issue in her family. Yet, he still did these shameless things. Xiaohai poured several bottles of calming pills from the bag. From knowing the truth to now, she's been wanting to die but can't. She's been forcing herself to hold on. Deliberately meeting in a crowded coffee shop to expose it, just afraid of acting rashly. The Che Yuan family thinks she's impulsive, but she is more rational than anyone now. Jiang is waiting downstairs. She apologizes to Xiaohai with envy. Xiaohai just can't understand. Is it that for Jiang, 20 years of friendship is nothing compared to a man? But it doesn't matter now. She doesn't want the dirty things. Take good care. Jiang, I faced betrayal from both friends and love. Xiaohai is exhausted, both physically and mentally. She sold the company. She repaid her mother-in-law's principal. She contacted an agent to sell the car. She rented a small house again. Watching her daughter drag her luggage into the old stairwell house, living in a cramped and dim rental, Xiaohai's mom is heartbroken. Her daughter is like gold. When has she ever suffered like this? In fact, in the heart of the Xiaohai, compared to love, the break of friendship is her greatest burden. From childhood to now, Jiang is as important to her as her own hand. Whenever she gets busy, she instinctively calls out Jiang's name. Then she realizes Jiang's betrayal. Suddenly, it felt like a knife was cutting her heart. Xiaohai has left. No one can reach her. Che Yuan madly searches for the Xiaohai's whereabouts. He didn't look at her as he passed by Jiang. The traces of Xiaohai have been completely erased from the house. The wardrobe and jewelry box no longer show any of Xiaohai's items. Che Yuan feels this house is as empty as his heart. This was before he caused trouble, a price he never considered. The woman dresses like her best friend. When ordering at the coffee shop, she imitates her friend's tone and manner. She tries to look like she knows what she's doing. Only in this way does she feel that she and her friend belong to the same world. On the other side, since her family was disrupted by Jiang, Xiaohai's life has suddenly plunged from the clouds to the depths. She can't afford a dedicated studio. She can only continue researching jewelry design in a small workshop. Her nails are stained with oil that won't wash off. She go to the study center every morning. She return exhausted to the dark basement late at night. Everyone passing by the exhaust window, they can see the movements inside through. There is no privacy at all. Che Yuan watched the mother and daughter rely on each other. The guilt deepened. He sold some stocks. He hopes Xiaohai can take her mom to find a good house. Living in the basement for a long time is bad for health. But Xiaohai only felt disgust towards him. He ripped the check to pieces. She warned him to stop stalking, or she'd call the police. That day, Xiaohai's mom brought fruits. She came to visit her granddaughter at Chiluan's home. Look at this shameless bad person, Jiang, still freely coming and going from the Che Yuan house. Just thinking about how much her daughter trusts her, yet she has caused her own daughter so much harm. Xiaohai's mom shakes with anger. She steps forward and grabs Jiang's hair, determined to confront her parents. Jiang begs for mercy in tears. She is forcefully dragged to the door. Xiaohai's daughter witnesses this scene, carelessly protecting her. This saved Eunjiang from disaster. The old president has nothing good to say about this family, punishing son and son-in-law with a cold bath. Reflect on the betrayal of the family. Then they arrange to meet the woman, to have them sign a guarantee in front of their parents, promise not to destroy others' families again. For Eunjiang's parents, this is undoubtedly a bolt from the blue. The two daughters are causing trouble for the family. They each seduced the old chairman's son and son-in-law. How corrupted is the family virtue? That's why the sisters would do such immoral things. Mom grabbed a broom and started hitting. Dad fell into guilt and couldn't escape. Who would have thought that mistress he helped the chairman catch was his own two daughters? He even seriously offered suggestions. The mistress has become what she is now. This is clear proof that the parents failed to teach her. Role modeling has the greatest impact on children. His daughter has become like this. Dad can't find the words to scold her. He only blames himself for not caring enough. He's let his two daughters live in a lack of money and love for too long. They always feels inferior and reads people's moods. That's how she ended up going astray. Things have reached this point. Eunjiang doesn't want to give up so easily. Che Yuan and Xiaohai are about to get divorced. She just needs to try a little harder. Then she can marry Che Yuan and become someone from a different class. Upon learning that Che Yuan and Xiaohai will still attend a couple's gathering, she feels a burning jealousy. As soon as Che Yuan returns, she will reveal her trump card, forcing Che Yuan to choose between her and Xiaohai. Carefully weigh the situation. The Che Yuan finally took off the wedding ring as his response to Eunjiang. That night, Eunjiang approached Xiaohai as the main wife to talk. Still at the same coffee shop, the same spot. Last time she was scolded here, like a sinner. You're at fault too. If I'm wrong, it's for trusting you. Isn't it because you look down on me? What? Eunjiang lists the ways the Xiaohai disrespects her, like always making her run errands, and giving her unwanted rings as engagement gifts. The Xiaohai was left speechless. All the chores she made Eunjiang do were voluntary. When Eunjiang is short on cash, she pays. Plus, she designed the rings herself. As long as they aren't sold, they're hers. What's wrong with giving gifts? She repaid her father's debt and is broke. She even gave Eunjiang a 50 million yuan red envelope. Speaking of this, Eunjiang looked very self-assured. That's my compensation for being your follower for 20 years. That price is already a bargain for you. Eunjiang hated Xiaohai took her crush first, so she refuses to be the mistress. From childhood to now, the Xiaohai can have anything it wants. The sense of relative deprivation torments her. If she hadn't seen the Xiaohai living in paradise, she wouldn't feel like she's living in hell. But since things have come to this, can't I live a life like yours? What does that mean? You know the answer. The female teacher is introducing herself. The group of mothers rushes in and grabs her hair. They say her behavior ruins marriages. She aren't fit to be teachers at all. They forcibly dragged her out of the classroom. Eunjiang woke up from this nightmare. It must be because she went to the restaurant with Che Yuan during the day, and was cursed as a shameless couple by nearby customers. Since the affair was exposed, after some time of testing, Che Yuan realized Xiaohai was really no thought of reconciliation, and he didn't bother to coax anymore. At least, Eunjiang is within reach. He decided to take Eunjiang home to meet his parents this weekend. Eunjiang finally got the answer they dreamed of, and she successfully got a teaching position again. About to fulfill a childhood dream, she's as happy as a balloon. She feels like she is about to fly. In comparison, the conditions of Xiaohai are much tougher, because the office is too shabby. No one trusts luxury goods customers. It's hard to start a career. While shopping at the supermarket with her mom, Xiaohai coincidentally ran into the Eunjiang family at the supermarket. After connecting the faces, she suddenly realized the maid from her in-laws is Eunjiang's mom. The driver is Eunjiang's dad. Eunjiang's sister is involved with her brother-in-law. This family, each one of them is a genius at deceit. On the anniversary of Xiuhai's dad's death, Eunjiang visited with some snacks. Maybe she means well, but her good deeds are hard to appreciate. Perhaps Xiuhai's dad is watching from above. He can't stand his daughter being bullied. That's stealing Xiuhai's designs. The person who drove Xiuhai to bankruptcy has finally been caught. To spite Xiuhai, this person exposed Eunjiang right away. She mocked for being fooled by her closest friend. Xiaohai was so shocked that it fell silent. She never expected to be stabbed in the back by Eunjiang again. She violently tore off the friendship necklace from her neck. Because of Eunjiang, her career suffered and her family fell apart. She couldn't swallow her anger any longer. Meanwhile, Eunjiang was startled awake by the rumble of thunder. He was drenched in cold sweat. Perhaps it was because she had too many guilty secrets. There's always a lingering unease inside. For revenge, Xiaohai struggles to endure nausea and seeks compound with the Che Yuan. Takes the initiative to invite Eunjiang to travel together. She did a dark smoky makeup, always smiling on the outside but not on the inside. Makes Eunjiang's back chill. Xiaohai deliberately played a broadcast about murdering friends. Scared Eunjiang so much that she wouldn't dare to drink her prepared coffee. Even Xiaohai checks before and after showering. Jiang has to check every corner of the bathroom carefully, afraid of what weapon Xiaohai hides. A little upset could cost her life. Xiaohai brought Jiang to the shore. At the age of 17, this sea witnessed their friendship. Now, 20 years have passed. This sea also saw the end of their friendship. The two threw their friendship necklace into the sea. Jiang thought this symbolized a clean break. Upon returning home, she received a summons from the police. She is accused of being an accomplice in the theft. This ruined Xiaohai's career. She was even kicked out of the industry. Xiaohai demands for harsh punishment for the perpetrator. Jiang was panicked. She tried to plead for Xiaohai as a friend. Xiaohai, please forgive me this once. We're friends. Friends? That night, Jiang received another summons from the court. Xiaohai sued her for adultery. She demands 39,900 won in emotional damages, illegal resale of someone else's design, destruction of someone else's family. Xiaohai wants all of Jiang's crimes recorded in the verdict to ruin her reputation. 30,000 is the minimum claim amount for the trial, while 9,900 is the price for the counterfeit of her design. In other words, you're worth only 9,900 yuan. Such a cheap deal. This woman stole her friend's husband. Finally, she apologized on her knees to the wife. She promised to disappear from her sight from now on, just hoping Xiaohai spares her this time. Xiaohai was a bit soft-hearted, but the Che Yuan saw Jiang kneeling. It rushed over to persuade the Xiaohai to show some humanity. Don't ruin Jiang's life. That man was unfaithful to his marriage. How can he ask the original spouse to forgive the mistress? The more Xiaohai think about it, the angrier she gets. She heard the Chiyuan's family has already accepted Jiang as their daughter-in-law. Today, she's going to show them what she's made of. The true nature of Jiang's family. When Xiaohai brought the Che Yuan family to Jiang's house, the old president discovered that this family is full of liars. The elderly couple is profiting from his money. The two daughters are flirting with his son and son-in-law. The brother-in-law even dares to pursue his daughter. This is just overly dramatic. After hearing about this, the Che Yuan once again, he stand up for Jiang, cursing Xiaohai for being ruthless, yet also full of savior complex, seeing oneself as Jiang's savior. Determined to go through this with Jiang, but Jiang backed out. She never thought this path would be so hard. She is covered in sores. She feels she can't hold her head up for the rest of her life. The night before Jiang was to start her job, Xiaohai's mom did this for revenge. Hung a banner at the school gate at night. She tried to let all teachers, students, and parents know. Jiang is a bad person who seduced her best friend's husband. She wants to get Jiang expelled and ruined. After Xiaohai found out what her mom did, she spent the night in turmoil. She wants revenge, but she doesn't truly want to ruin Jiang's life. For the past 20 years, Jiang has taken care of her meticulously. She worked hard without complaint, without any grievances. Even though Jiang later did many things wrong to her, she still can't overlook Jiang's past companionship. Jiang's sweet words to her. She was angry when she heard that, but also reflected many times afterwards. She felt Jiang's inner struggle. Finally, she made a decision. She went to take down the banner before school opened. Her mom stopped her from taking it down. She asked if she was out of her mind, wondering why she was soft-hearted towards the enemy. But for Xiaohai, Jiang was never the enemy. She had already said harsh words. Even if revenge is achieved, she won't feel any better inside. Being a teacher has been Jiang's dream since childhood. Now, it has finally come true. She can't bear to destroy it. The argument between mother and daughter at the school gate. Jiang heard everything. In the face of the Xiaohai's sincerity, all the little clever tricks are useless. It was at this moment that Xiaohai completely awakened. She realized what an unforgivable thing she had done. She completed the first day's class seriously. Then she placed her resignation on the principal's desk. Xiaohai has also run all day long, roaming between the court and the police station. Prosecution against Jiang has been dropped. Old friends met on the street. So much to say, they don't know where to start. I want you to see me like this first. It's my first day at work. How am I doing? The two met again at that cafe. A real and final heart-to-heart happened. When Jiang took Xiaohai's husband, she felt a sense of victory after the defeat, but it was just an illusion of vanity. After going through all this, she finally understood dependence. How foolish it is to think others' rise is wise. Even if Xiaohai doesn't hold it against her, she can't forgive herself for hurting her friend. Only self-punishment. That's how she finds the courage to go on. Everything stems from my distorted desires. My ignorance caused me to lose my best friend. It even ruined my life. From age 17 to 37, the best 20 years of my life. The two sisters supported each other through it. For Jiang, Xiaohai is the spring sunshine. Her favorite is the red balloon. After this, Jiang left a farewell letter for her family. She moved to an unknown place, starting her life anew. There's no comparison here. There won't be a sense of relative deprivation. It allows her to be her complete self. After the Xiaohai and Cheiyuan divorced peacefully, taking Mom to Italy for studies, and expanding my business. Several years later, Xiaohai returns home gracefully. When she step out of the office, she unexpectedly find outside filled with red balloons, with welcome back, Xiaohai written on them. Without guessing, it's clear Enjiang was here. She rushes out to look for Enjiang. But Enjiang is just watching from the shadows. They still care about each other, but for those who live in two different worlds, the best way to maintain friendship is probably to not interfere.